Have you ever noticed that a child can be laughing one second and completely silent the next? Sometimes all it takes is one raised voice. Many parents believe shouting is simply a louder form of discipline. It's how I was raised. They need to listen. They're just being stubborn. But modern psychology tells us something very different. When you shout at a child under the age of 9, you are not speaking to a fully developed mind. You are speaking to a brain that is still learning what safety feels like. And children do not always remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. The child's brain is still under construction. Imagine building a house. Would you hit the walls with a hammer every time a mistake was made? Of course not. You would guide the builder, correct the error, and continue building. A child's brain is exactly the same. The areas responsible for emotional regulation, impulse control, and logical reasoning are still developing. This means your child is not a miniature adult. They are learning. Every day, every interaction, every conversation, every reaction from you becomes part of the blueprint they will carry into adulthood. Why children seem to stop listening? Many parents believe shouting works because the child becomes quiet. But silence is not always understanding. Silence is often fear. When a child is screamed at, the body releases stress hormones. Their heart beats faster, breathing changes, muscles tighten. The brain shifts from learning mode into survival mode. At that moment, they are no longer thinking, "What lesson am I supposed to learn?" They are thinking, "How do I make this stop?" Fear creates compliance. It does not create wisdom. The invisible voice. One day your child will become an adult. They will make mistakes, fail an exam, lose a job, go through heartbreak, face rejection. And in those moments, they will hear a voice inside their head. That voice is often built from the voices they heard growing up. If they constantly heard, "You're useless," they may become adults who doubt themselves before trying. If they constantly heard, "You never get anything right," they may fear failure so much that they stop chasing opportunities. If they constantly heard, "Calm down, let's figure this out together," they are more likely to become adults who solve problems instead of panicking. Parents are not just raising children, they are building someone's future inner dialogue. The difference between discipline and anger. Discipline asks, "What can this child learn?" Anger asks, "How can I release my frustration?" Discipline creates consequences. Anger creates fear. Discipline teaches responsibility. Anger teaches avoidance. A child who fears punishment often becomes better at hiding mistakes, not better at making decisions. That is why many children lie, not because they are naturally dishonest, but because honesty feels dangerous. Why small mistakes matter. Picture a little girl spilling juice on the floor. One parent shouts, "Look what you've done! Can't you do anything right?" Another parent kneels down and says, "Accidents happen. Let's clean it together, and next time, we'll carry it with both hands." Both parents corrected the behavior, but only one protected the child's confidence. Children do not need perfection. They need guidance. The cycle that repeats. Many adults carry wounds they cannot explain. They become anxious when someone raises their voice.
They apologize even when they have done nothing wrong. They struggle to express opinions. They avoid conflict at all costs. Or they become quick to anger themselves. Why? Because children often become the environment they grow up in. If shouting becomes normal, their nervous system learns that loud equals love, stress equals communication, fear equals respect. Without realizing it, they may repeat the same pattern with their own children. And so the cycle continues, unless someone decides to break it. What children actually need? Children need boundaries. They need routines. They need consequences. But above all, they need emotional safety. A child who feels safe is more willing to admit mistakes, more willing to ask questions, more willing to try again after failing. Confidence is not built by constant praise. It is built by knowing mistakes do not erase love. What to do instead of shouting. Pause before reacting. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Get down to the child's eye level. Describe the behavior instead of attacking their character. Instead of, "You're so naughty," try, "Throwing toys is not okay." Instead of, "What's wrong with you?" try, "What happened? Let's solve it together." Firmness and kindness can exist in the same sentence. The parent who apologizes. Many people believe apologizing makes parents look weak. The opposite is true. When you tell your child, "I'm sorry I shouted. I was frustrated, but I should have handled it better," you teach accountability. You teach humility. You teach emotional intelligence. You show them that making mistakes does not make someone unworthy of love. It simply creates another opportunity to grow. The long-term goal. The goal of parenting is not raising children who obey because they are afraid. It is raising adults who make good decisions even when nobody is watching. Children eventually outgrow your rules, but they never outgrow the emotional foundation you give them. One day, they will become parents, managers, teachers, partners, friends, and they will communicate with others the way they learned to communicate at home. A final thought. Years from now, your child probably won't remember every birthday present. They won't remember every meal. They won't remember every toy. But they will remember how your home felt. Did it feel like a courtroom or a refuge? Did your voice make them shrink or become stronger? You will lose your patience sometimes. Every parent does. The important question is not whether you are perfect. It is whether your child knows that your love is bigger than your frustration. Because children bloom where they feel safe. And the greatest gift a parent can give is not a perfect childhood. It is the confidence that, no matter what happens, home is a place where mistakes become lessons instead of scars. If this lesson made you reflect, share it with another parent. Sometimes changing one conversation changes one family. And sometimes changing one family changes an entire generation.